So I'm like, oh, look, here it is happening again. And yet, you know, I guess because people aren't there, there's enough that they go about their lives in the other, 40 states that are unaffected right there. And it doesn't get through enough. But now you think with YouTube and Twitter and all these things to be able to get the word out. I mean, I see so many of these. It's like, even if you say like 50% of them are selectively edited, 50% of them aren't, bro. Like, it's bad. Like, some of the videos Nick gets, it's like, walking across the border, like right through a hole.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what?
And we'll be down there, man, and they'll like not only walk through it, but they'll be like, sometimes they'll be like FaceTiming a family member while they're using those. That's more than there,
It's like, wait, which data plan are they?
Yeah.
Did they cross over to the
They're like waving at the agent, and then, Border Patrol knows, like, they're not even scared of us, they want to see us.
Well, actually, that's something that you're really involved in, that educate a lot of us on. Nixon's doing a little bit of this, but I think it's something a lot of guys, especially coastals like me, don't think of. But when we're looking at the border patrol, we think like, okay, people standing on the border with a gun, and someone comes across, like, they say you're arrested, or they push it back on the other side. But that's not what they're being told to do. Like, I heard you say something earlier about border patrol agents where you were saying, that's such a great phrase for it.
I know exactly. So based on what we're doing, obviously we'll talk to Border Patrol, and obviously being them. So this is a big switch that I kind of want viewers to get in there. Sure. So under Trump, if you're like, and you cross illegally, and you see a Border Patrol agent, you would be scared. You don't want the apprehension because you're going to be sent back, whatever that problem is. Under Biden, that has changed, where migrants want Border Patrol because they know that they'll be processed and everything. So after years of this politics, I was speaking with Border Patrol agents, and
they want that.
So because for me, back in 2021 when I first got called to the border, I didn't understand it either. Because I'm thinking the same thing. Like, you see an agent, you run away. It's almost like a cop, right?
Yeah.
You're breaking the law technically. So when we're down there, an agent was explaining to me first. My first week, he said, "No, man." He's like, under this administration, when they cross, they're looking for us because they know once they find us, we do the apprehension, and then they're released into the U.S. in like 3 or 4 days. So, and I remember, I was like, really? And I remember being down there, we ran into like a group of 300, and the group like was telling me like, "Where's the agent? Where's the agent? We want to go to the agent." And I basically got into the agent, and like he said, they do the apprehension, and I'm sure they would be released. So then I've been speaking with agents, and then as morale, as you guys can imagine, is as low as it could be. I mean, if you can't,
sure.
So two quotes always stick out to me. Is I spoke to one agent who says, basically, I'm a human smuggler now.
That's what it was.
Where he was like, I'm not protecting my country. I basically, literally, I'm bringing in illegals into the country, and I just do that. And then another agent, this one stood out too. He was just like, because he was feeling so defeated. And I'm like, man, just to kind of talk to how you're feeling or the role, or how does it transform? He's like, look, basically, man, the best way I can put it is, I'm an Uber driver. He's like, I literally wait on the border when a group of migrants come. I get in my white van. You put the migrants in that van. You take them to a holding facility or processing facility, whatever. And I just repeat that for a 16-hour shift. So then these guys, first of all, mentalities, morale as low as it can be. Border Patrol, this is a super sad stat too. They're like killing themselves in like I think the highest levels ever.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and then you gotta imagine this has happened to me as a reporter too. Like when you're down there, dude, you're seeing this amount of bodies. You're gonna run into some real sad stuff. So like, these guys have run into they probably have run into teenage girls that have been. Babies abandoned, kids abandoned. And I know probably a lot of them feel guilt. There's probably a guilt factor that they probably have that they can't really help them out. And they probably seen the craziest stuff. So I know a lot of these guys have now killed themselves. A lot of these guys feel their job was worthless. It was 2 years ago. Mayorkas, I believe he was in Yuma, Arizona, doing a meeting with Border Patrol agents. And I remember this story because my friend is the one who got the audio leaked to him. One agent stood up to Mayorkas and said that evil happens when good men stand down and do nothing, and that's what he felt. So that's these guys are going through it, man. And like I said, I'm a reporter, so I only see. I mean, do I spend a lot of time on the border? Yeah, and I've seen some sad stuff, but I'm only there a fraction of the time that these guys are there. These guys have probably seen way more. So all that plays a role, and I mean, just talking about the human side of it, bro. Like even like back in 2022, I was in Eagle Pass, Texas, and in the Eagle Pass, they had the Rio Grande, blocking Eagle Pass and Patas Negras, right, the river, and when we would go report there, and I remember looking at the current, and I'd be like, oh, this is easy, like I could go through this easy, and the agent goes, hey man, he's like, once you get in that water, that current's gonna sweep you. And then, so what I started to do, man, is like I would follow big groups in Mexico. They would get into Rio Grande, and I would get in the water with them, and me and my cameraman. So we wanted to feel it too. I wanted to feel it, as a reporter, to be like, oh. And he was right. But we see this water sweep grown men, kids, all the time. And then, so when we started putting the story together, basically this area of Eagle Pass. This is just to share like kind of the human side, and this is kind of share what Border Patrol seeing. But this story said I was this. It got to the point in that area, bro, with the Rio Grande, with the current, and we got to see it ourselves. Is the drowning just picked up to one a day. So basically, we would do that. We would go embedded with the Eagle Pass with their Maverick County constables and everything. And so every day we were with them, they would go pull out a body, they'd pull out like an adult, or they could be a kid. One thing they're pulling out like 2 or 3 in a day. And we're talking about, these are people in a small town. They're not even used to be seeing these amount of deceased bodies. So they're pulling out the bodies, and we're the first reporters break that story and say, hey guys, like, everyone get caught up in the political, right, left, right, Republican, Democrat. Like, at the end of the day, like, no matter how you feel, brown kids and adults are dying in water. Like, they're getting one a day. And so we start talking to the constable, the deputy, and I'm like, what's the next step? Well, they look, all right, we have a local cemetery here, but because we're getting so many drownings here, the cemetery is out of room. So basically, we have to call the state of Texas to send a freezer trailer, and then they're now putting deceased bodies in the freezer trailer. In the other towns now, it is still have to identify these bodies. As of right now, they're all John or Jane Doe, or maybe John or Jane Doe. So me and the constable, we go to the local cemetery in Eagle Pass, and he's like, hey man, I think you need to see this for the story. So we go to the cemetery, and dude, it's a full cemetery, and it's just PC pipes. Because they don't even have tombstones. It's literally like the PC pipes. And then, so we start walking, start with the camera, and the constable said, look at the name. And then he was right, it was John Doe, Jane Doe. They'll be like, baby John Doe, baby Jane Doe, baby John Doe. It'll be like August 17th, August 23rd, September 1st, September 7th. Just great, and I'm like, so we start with the constable, because he's the one who has, ended up this case. And he's like, look, man, the problem that we have is we're such a small, poor community. We have to pull the bodies. We then have to do the identification, and we now run out of room at the cemetery. They basically had to call Abbott and be like, if you don't send a freezer trailer, we don't know where to put these bodies. So then they had the freezer trailer down there, and then the constable opened it up for us. So we got to see it.
Oh, you saw.
We saw it, and then just seeing everything was like, it was just insane. And I was just like, what?
Now you're a journalist, but
Yeah.
you're a human first.
Oh yeah. The kid stuff is
how do you
brutal,
even
man.
look at that?
It's the stuff. I mean, what anyone did is the kid, like the thing that broke me, man, in person was seeing like a baby John Doe, baby. Like I couldn't fathom just like kids drowning. And the thing is that it made it more real for me as a journalist, because I went in that Rio Grande, and I went in there with these groups. So I know the current, and I know the situations. And just imagine, and then, like, I was talking to the sheriff, and the sheriff was like, man, like, he's like, my deputy's like, I gotta give him, we gotta, like, have we had to send to, like, the University of Texas for mental health evaluations. He's like, dude, we're not used to seeing these kind of dead bodies. This is not even human. Like, we didn't sign up to be in a war in Iraq. He's like, we're averaging, bro, a drowning a day. And this was in Eagle Pass, Texas. And I can only imagine, man, what the sheriffs are seeing every day, Border Patrol agents are seeing every day. Like, it's just like not even the one that still kind of stood out to me, man. Just like on a humor level around the subject was. It was last year. We were down there for that. Like I was telling you, man, we were in McAllen for the Chinese story originally, and we did the story when we were down there, and we run across like a woman and this kid, like almost like by themselves in these bushes, and the lady runs up to us, and she's crying, and she goes like, hey, like, this kid is not my son. Like, I found him, he was completely abandoned. His mother abandoned him naked. He was naked. So like, what? he's naked, he's suffering, he's cold, he's shivering. So it's like I gave him a blanket or whatever, and we go up to this kid. He's like 12 years old, and he's like freaked out, obviously, and like we're obviously DPS is gonna take him in, but the kid had writing on his hand, and like all right here, and we look at it, and it says it was in English, dude. It says, and it says like take me here, and it was a Louisiana address with a phone number. So then we take a picture of it.
It's human trafficking.
So we take a picture of it, and then Texas DPS like takes him in, and we're freaked out because like I've never. This is only my covering the borders was my second time coming, right into an abandoned kid, but youngest 4. My first one was 10 years old, but he was 4, so it just hit different. And just to see like the writing to a Louisiana address. So we took a picture of it, and like we ended up doing the story, and then the producer, my producer hits me up and was like, hey, Rory, like. She said, what do you think about doing a follow number? Like, we get shot, I don't know where to go. So we went to my hotel room. We had our cameraman put the cameraman on me, and then I called the number, dude. And then what was sad about it is like the guy on the phone was acting like his uncle, and like but didn't know where he was, and was like, we're like, man, we kept pressing, like, why would you send him by himself? Like he's literally just found naked. And this other migrant woman doesn't found that this kid's dying. And the guy like danced around, and then he like blew up it, and it was super effed up. And then like we know that at the end of the day, when this kid is released, or they're gonna connect him to a sponsor, he's going to that Louisiana address, and like that's like one of many. I don't know if you can believe this headline, bro. So this is not even a right-wing thing. I believe Access of New York Times did this story. The U.S. government, bro, has about 85,000 kids in the system of this system of unaccompanied children coming.
I'll bet that's a low estimate.
And that's probably low estimate.
It's sad when I hear shit like that, and I think about the fact that it's year 2024 and we're supposed to be the best country in the world. It makes me sick, because Alessi had actually recommended a miniseries that I watched like maybe a little less than a year ago, called 1883. You ever see this?
No.
Kelly Sheridan. This guy's in Yellowstone. Okay. I've never seen, but I've seen some of his stuff now. I haven't seen Yellowstone, but he's amazing. And so he wrote this miniseries that was a far prequel of, I guess, the family that's in Yellowstone, about how they ended up in Montana. And it's basically like they were taking German migrants from, I want to say it was Texas, up the Oregon Trail, and it just shows their journey. And you see how much, it's not that crazy long ago, but it's a long time ago, right? 1883. And it's very historically accurate. You saw the different ways people could fucking die every day. And one of them was they simply had to cross a river with their carriages, horses, luggage and shit. And motherfuckers just drowned. And it's like you're watching a TV show, it's historical, and you're like, yeah. And you're telling me that in 2024, the same fucking thing is happening right in front, as if they have a front row seat of the Border Patrol agents who can't do front row. That is sick.
It's hard for you, man. And like I said, in that real grind, I've witnessed it. Like it's like I said, when you first approach it, man, it looks easy. It's like, oh, I can swim across that. But yeah, once you get into the current, and then as a journalist, man, I put myself in risky situations. It helps to enhance the story. So we went in there too, just to see. Like I said, just talking to those guys, finding out about them filling out the like a body per day, the scene, like the cemetery. Once you see that on like human level, the news makes you more angry.
Oh yeah.
Because then like you hate that, like whether it's left or right, you're only getting the talking points on immigration. And I wish I could like take an American with me just down there and I'm like, I just need you to see this. And then I don't need you to have an opinion on it, or I need a hot take at the end of it. I just need you to see it and then realize this is happening on U.S. soil. And early on in my employment, I would always say the word humanitarian crisis when I talked about the border. And people ask me why. I said, the reason why is, A, it's a humanitarian crisis. The second is, as Americans, when we think humanitarian crisis, we think, oh, that happens in Yemen. Or that happens in, like right now, it happens in Gaza.
Right here.
It's happening right here, man. And then it makes you more, particularly for me, and I'm, being Latino, the Salvadorian, makes you more angry because of like politicians that like vouch for like we're the party or we're the people for black and brown people. And then when black and brown people